the game in the opener.
And the first pitch of this game is a strike call down around the knees as Neiman starts the evening with a well-placed fastball in around 92 or 93 miles per hour. It's a ground ball right side, and there to pick it up is Ben Zobrist. His throw to first, one up and one down.
Take a look at the defense for the Tampa Bay Rays. In the outfield, Carl Crawford once again in left, B.J. Upton in center, Matt Joyce, well-deserved, playing right field, Willie Ibar, Reed Brignac on the left side, Ben Zobrist, Carlos Pena on the right side of the infield, Yano Navarro behind the plate. This defensive alignment review brought to you by Sweet Bay Supermarket, where saving you money is our passion.
Here's Callaspo, the second baseman. Switch hitter. The pitch is down, a ball and no strikes. Neiman in his last outing pitched only 3 innings. That was because of the lengthy rain delay in Cleveland. It's 1-1. We're proud to present this game to you in astonishing high definition tonight. The Rays and the Royals in game 2 of their 3-game series. It was a little late on that mid-90s fastball, and Neiman chucked that one up there in a hurry.
Yeah, it was easy for him to throw too because he has a more compact delivery. That thing jumped out of his hand at 95.
2-2 now. Ground ball chopped by the mound. This time Zobrist to his right. Throws across his body. Takes care of the Kansas City second baseman.
And I like that Jeff made it happen on 2-2, threw a strike right there. Try to minimize those 3 ball counts. Let your defense work for you. Silver's getting some early plays, early action out there at second.
Big Jeff Neiman at 6'9", out of Rice University. Here's Billy Butler. Butler 0 for 4 last night. He came into this series swinging a pretty healthy bat. 1 ball, no strikes. 284 for the year. He dropped 7 points last night. He ended hitting 291 overall. Fouls it back. He liked the fastball, but that had, again, a little something extra on it.
Well, and because Jeff is more compact with the delivery, less moving parts, if you can say that for a man that's 6'9", his fastball's actually, he's harder than what I've seen him. It's 95, 94, 95. I mean, he's at 93, but he's pitching at about 95.
2-1.
96 right there.
Couple of ground balls to start the game. And he throws a strike there to square the count at 2-2, dropping a breaking ball over. And he's ready to go. You know, he's not wanting to take a lot of time out there. I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, the pacing is really important. Get the ball, get on the mound, repeat your delivery.
Chopper headed toward the middle. There's Zobrist, and the throw to first. Ben handles all 3 chopping ground balls. 1, 2, 3 go the Royals. Bottom of the first coming. No score with the Rays coming in to hit. first. Rays will line him up this way. B.J. Upton in the leadoff spot. Carl Crawford and Willie Ibar hits third place third. Carlos Pena, Vince Hilbrist, and Matt Joyce down the middle with Gabe Gross the DH. Deanna Navarro catching. Reed Brinyak at short, bats ninth against Brian Bannister.
6'2", 205, 28-year-old right-hander. Came out of USC in 2003.
B.J. Upton goes after the first pitch, hits a towering fly ball back into left to Jesus to the track, and he makes the catch as B.J. jumped on that first pitch, hit it high and deep, but just not deep enough.
Take a look at the defense for the Kansas City Royals in the outfield. David DeJesus, who just made that catch in left. Mitch Meyer in center. Jose Guillen in right. Mark Teahan and Tony Pena Jr. on the left side of the infield. The right side, Alberto Callaspo and Billy Butler. And behind the plate, Miguel Olivo. The defensive alignment review brought to you by Sweet Bay Supermarket.
Pitch is low to Carl Crawford. No ball, no strikes. It's in there for a strike. 1-1.
I think Joe Madden liked that sound off Upton's bat, because I did up here, didn't you?
Yes.
And he just missed that.
Pitch is down. 2-1.
You know, and when I say missed it, he didn't miss it as far as squaring it up. He just got underneath it. He squared it up, but he just got underneath it.
3 balls and a strike, and things have started to look better for B.J. Upton recently. And he jumped on that first pitch. Made a bid to hit it out. There's a walk to Crawford. So he's aboard. Crawford on base with 1 out. Of course, you know the story on Crawford leading the majors in stolen bases, 31. He's been caught twice, thrown out by a catcher for the first time in this series. Was picked off the other time on a pickoff caught stealing. Now it's Willie Ibar. Pitch is high. No ball, no strikes.
Yeah, we're into June, and it took over 2 months for a catcher to finally throw out.
Yep.
Carl Crawford.
Crawford finally caught trying to steal third in the third last night. Olivo threw him out. Over to first, and Crawford is back in. Again, back standing.
You got to show distance and direction off the mound right there. You could technically call that a balk. He just spun on the mound. You can't spin on the mound anymore. You got to show distance, separation from the mound, and direction with your front foot throwing to first base.
You know, that's something that I'm sure at some point the Rays will, in a subtle way, point that out.
Yeah, here's the look. I mean, that's not distance right there. You got to show distance and direction with your foot. I'd be arguing that one right
there. Pitch is high, shortened up his stride, and delivered the pitch upstairs.
And what Miguel Olivo was telling Brian Bannister, hey, we don't forget about the hitter here. 2-0. I mean, you worry about Carl Crawford, but don't forget about the hitter. And that's the whole point of the running game, period. Is to create havoc, and if you don't run, you might see a mistake at home plate for the hitter.
Crawford with his lead. There he goes. The pitch down and in, and skips all the way to the backstop. Crawford in with a stolen base, his 32nd of the year, as the count goes out to 3-0. Well, they've already, with that speed, you know, he's technically balked a couple times. He rushed a delivery, he left a pitch high, he threw that one down, it skipped by Olivo. All of that in the span of just a handful of pitches with Crawford aboard. Now it's 3-0. Ibar takes a strike.
A little respect right there by Bannister to Willie Ibar. That was a cutter. 3-0.
Turn, nothing doing. And Tony Pena Jr. trying to walk himself in behind the runner and try to get some daylight.
Yeah, and this Royals pitching staff, we've seen this, saw it last night. They teach him all the inside move, which is where the pitcher lifts his front leg and spins towards second base. There's a regular move.
So they're still very much aware of Crawford's presence out there at second.
That's just a regular pickoff move. That's a regular move right there. And see, there he stepped and showed some distance with the front foot and direction toward the bag. But he didn't do it to first base.
And there's a strike call to take the count full to Willie Ibar. Ninth start of the year for Bannister. And a liner going to be caught by the second baseman Kayaspo for the out. 2 gone. So Willie making a bid to get it through the right side. Bannister was at Omaha. He was recalled the 3rd week in April when the Royals placed the former Ray, Doug Wechter, on the disabled list.
He's another guy that's pitched better on the road. Is there something about the Kansas City mound they don't like?
Yeah, how about that? I mean, and last night, Kyle Davies, the split was enormous, home and away. Throw back with Pena playing behind the bag, or with Carlos Pena at the plate. Tony Pena Jr. shading him up the middle and behind the bag. And Kayaspo he's about as far out into short right field as any second baseman we have seen. Look at him.
Yeah, he's the rover out there. Tonight with Bannister on the mound, they have a more dramatic shift on, the Royals do, than they did last night with the harder throwing Davies.
High shot, deep back into center field. Meyer going back to the wall. It hits his glove and then the wall. Here comes Crawford in to score. Pena's in at second and the Rays lead 1-0. A shot off the bat of Carlos Pena, and Meyer actually got there. Got his glove on the ball.
Yeah, I mean, at first off the bat, it had that great sound. It sounded like it was going to be a home run. And Carlos usually scores one up like that. It's gone. Carlos is running, and he kind of gives you that look like, I didn't quite get that. I got a little bit off the end, and that's why it stayed in the ballpark. And Meyer should have made that catch. But he was trying to read the wall, see where the ball was all at the same time, and it went off his glove.
So the Rays take the lead on the double by Pena. His 10th double and his 42nd run batted in. Now here's Ben Zobrist. And this one all the way to the backstop wide. And over to third on the wild pitch goes Carlos Pena. Well, that one completely got away from Bannister. See, wild pitches Pena to third.
Take a look at Bannister right here. He just got underneath that one, and it sailed on Olivo. No chance. That's definitely a wild pitch. You know, I say Meyer should have had that, but it also should have been scored a double as it was.
Ben Zobrist takes a strike. The count is 1-1.
It's just when that Meyer didn't exactly know where the wall was. He's kind of looking for the wall and feeling for it and guiding himself on that warning track at the same time. And when he looked up for the ball, he didn't really track it into the glove.
It's a little bit wide. 2-1. Coco Crisp, who who had been playing out there all year, as you know, acquired from the Red Sox, but he's been on the bereavement list, and there's a general feeling that he may be rejoining this club tomorrow. We'll see what they do with that move. Sharply hit foul. The count is 2-2. Bill Meyer is out there in center field here in the first two games, at least the first two games of this series, and that may have been a break for the Rays on that ball.
Yeah, Coco, of course, is an excellent defensive center fielder.
Down and in, block, and the count goes to 3-2.
Now, this is how you block a ball right here. This is a nice play by Olivo. Take a look at him shift. Knowing a breaking ball's coming. Watch him shift to his right, get the right knee down, and the lefty, and then square up. Bring the ball back to center. It's a nice play by Olivo.
3-2. Zobrist walks the pitch upstairs. The Rays have 2 men on. 2 men on, 2 men out, a run home. Tonight's game being simulcast in Spanish. That means you can access the audio feature by selecting the built-in SAP option on your television set. Well, here's Matt Joyce. Well, how good it was to see him come up from Durham, where he had been hitting the ball very well, and have the kind of start he's had here at home. Pitch down and in, and he did check on the appeal down to Charlie Relaford. Larry Vanover, a 16-year veteran, is behind the plate tonight.
Said he's been fooling him for all those years, he told me today when I saw him coming in.
Haven't we all? Foul ball. That's
pretty much what I said too.
Yep. There's our Geico quote of the day. Madden on Joyce. He just thinks he's a special player, a special hitter, and he loves the bat. Makes a different sound when he hits it. You always like to have those kind of guys in your offense, and amen to that. 1-1 to count on Joyce.
Along with that, I talked to Joe today, Joe Madden, and he said, I think this guy's going to be a big-time, everyday player in the big leagues. And hopefully for us. Well, he's out there now. If he keeps swinging the bat, he's going to be out there a lot.
Fouls it back. 1-2. Well, it was especially good to see him in a key spot against the left-hander. Number one, get a chance to hit against the left-hander and deliver with that double off the breaking ball in the 6th inning last night off Ramirez.
Well, you know, Russell Branyan, the first baseman for the Mariners, big left-hand hitter that came up with Cleveland, he's finally playing every day. And I talked to him today, and he said, you know, Don Wakamatsu's giving me confidence against lefties because he's letting me play against lefties.
You got just a piece of that one into the mid of Olivo with a foul-tip strikeout. That retires the side. But the Rays grab a first-inning run, and at the end of an inning, it's 1-0 Tampa Bay.
Toyota trend will show you how the Rays offense has differed greatly from the Royals offense since the 7th of May. In the last few weeks, the Rays have scored 160 runs in games since May 7th. They played 2 more games in Kansas City, but as you saw, the Royals have scored just 72 during that time. So more than double the Rays have outscored the Royals since May 7th. Guys, our first question of the night in our Ask the Announcer segment, as Jeff Neiman delivers to Mike Jacobs, is this. And by the way, you can send your questions by email to ask.therays@fox.com. We have a young lady who would like to know what the term walk-off means and where it came from. And why do they call it walk-off when it's the other team that's walking off, guys?
Yeah, those are those semantics questions. Thank you. Pitch is foul out of play, and the count is 1-2 to Mike Jacobs, because at the end of whatever play that is, there's nothing left to do except walk off, except most of the time we see the winning team in jubilation jump around. They're jumping and running off. Oh, there's a nice pitch right there. How about that one?
That's
a breaking
beauty.
ball to get Jacobs. That's the first strikeout of the night for Neiman.
Right over the top and right off the table right here. Look at that hammer. That's 12-6 on the clock. Hands of the clock. 12 right down to 6. And that buckles Mike Jacobs for strike 3. Yeah, that's kind of a newer term the last, decade or so?
Yeah.
I'm not real big on that term.
Big swing and a miss on the fastball. Guillen took a big-time cut.
The old walk-off hit, the walk-off home run.
Swing too low. 1-1.
I guess it's an easy way to say that was the end of the game when he hit it, if it was a home run, let's say. When I was managing and facing those, I didn't like that term.
Yeah, well, depends on which side you were on.
Yeah,
you're right. But that's an interesting question about why is it a walk-off if the team walking off lost? I mean, that's pretty good. It's a foul ball out of play. That's why. Why do you park on a driveway and drive on a parkway?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's a game-winning home run. Okay, well, they say, a game-winning home run could be in a 6th inning. Well, no, that's the go-ahead home run, and it turns out to be the game winner. But to me, at the end of the game, it's a game-winning home run.
Way ahead of this. How about that? He started him with that healthy fastball, threw it by him, and then just slid that one right away from him.
Yeah, that's nice sequence right there from Neiman. Look at that one off the outside corner. Look at the delivery right here. Getting that downward angle on the breaking ball away to Guillen.
That's a strike to Martin. Boy, I'll tell you, Neiman is throwing well, and he is setting his own pace, which is really good to see. Breaking ball, and there's a strike. He's throwing strikes with all of his pitches so far. One ball, 2 strikes. Out 10 with a good hard fastball and strikes out the side. He got Jacobs on a great breaking ball. Started Guillen with a fastball and finished him with that one, and then the fastball to take care of 10. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Aflac, we've got you under our wing. For the Rays in the bottom of the second, it will be Gabe Gross, the designated hitter, to lead it off. Gross, Navarro, and then Brignac. Rays with a run in the first, and here with Bannister behind Gross, 3-0. Bob McClure is on his way to the mound already. Reminder, fans, this year you can team up with the St. Petersburg Times, the local newspaper with one of the top 10 sports sections in the country. Subscribe by calling 877 The Times or visiting TampaBay.com. Bannister here through the first handful of hitters has been a little bit erratic, and McClure, with him throwing 3 straight pitches out of the strike zone here to Gross, as his first visit with him.
Yeah, and Bannister so far this season only goes to about the 100 pitch mark. I think he's hit 102, 103. He's already got 26 pitches in an inning plus.
That's a strike, makes it 3-1. Center field for a base hit. So Gross has a single his first time up. That will bring up Deoner Navarro. Navarro hitting .206. That's a strike. I'll tell you, the top of the second inning was impressive, and it was Jeff Neiman who struck out the side in short order and made some very good pitches. Two, breaking pitch.
That's a good curveball right there by Bannister. That's his best pitch so far. He threw one to Joyce for strike 3, ending the first. So that's one pitch that's working for Brian right now. That overhand curveball. That's a good one.
Covered up by the catcher Olivo. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Not a lot of at-bats for the Rays against Bannister, but Navarro is 2 for 5 off him. Left field, that's going to hang up for DeJesus, who was shallow and left, and he makes the grab. 1 out. Bannister, as you mentioned, Kevin, out of USC, he was a walk-on, decided to walk on to their baseball program, and really didn't start to pitch full-time until then. Yeah,
7th round draft choice originally by the New York Mets in 2003.
Reed Brignac faces him. Gross is back in at first.
Brian's dad. I remember I came out the same year as his dad, Floyd. Floyd was a big-time, overpowering left-handed that signed with the Houston Astros in 1976.
Brignac takes the pitch. 1 strike. And he had a great arm.
Oh,
Floyd.
Did he ever?
His father could really get that baseball up there. Seattle, spent some time with Kansas City. So, in fact, Brian Bannister wearing number 19, and that was his father's number.
Yep.
Both pitching for the Kansas City Royals. Brignac stays alive with an 0-2 count.
Well, Olivo recognizing the curve is working for Bannister, so he's kind of staying with it right here with the lefties up there, especially. Also a good pitch to run on, not necessarily for Gabe Gross, but the fast guy's on, you're not going to see as many curveballs in the dirt.
This one is foul, a fastball that's foul the other way. Bannister has been bothered by left-handed hitters throughout his career. He was 9-16 last year, and lefties hit .313 off him. Right-handers .274. There goes the runner, and the pitch swung on. Drilled down the right side, but it's going to be well foul as Brignac got some lift into that swing on the fastball and was just a little early.
I think that steal was guessing that there'd be a curveball after Brignac fouled off the fastball. But instead he got another fastball. So you don't have to have speed to run it if you run on the right count and situation. His curveball is definitely a pitch you could run on.
Ground ball right side. That's going to chop its way through. Down to second goes Gross. He was sliding in. Now he's headed to third and arrives ahead of Guillen's throw. It's first and third with only 1 out. So Brignac down 0-2. Fouled a couple pitches away and got it through the right side.
A little scrappy at bat right here. A little bigger curveball right there, and Brignac read it pretty well and put it in play. Gross looking behind him, realizing that ball's to right field. Now, Guillen does have a good arm, but Gross got up in time just to get in there at third base. That wasn't the put-away curve, but, you know, perhaps because Gross is running 0-2, Bannister didn't want to drop one in the dirt.
Well, here's B.J. Upton. He jumped on the first pitch he saw and hit it deep to left. Takes a first pitch strike, a fastball. B.J. checking with Larry Vanover. Two. Fastball had a little run on it, a little sail.
B.J. really got to shorten up, try to put this ball in play, because he's a tough guy to double up. I'd like to get this second run in here with 1 out.
And he taps it foul, a breaking ball. Yeah, this is one of those situations where the Rays have a chance to pick up another run with the right kind of at bat.
Yeah, and you've got, you know, less than 2 outs, and they're giving you the run. I mean, they're playing back for a double play, but they'll give you the run if you can put it in play.
Over to first, back in goes Brignac. Rays scored a run in the first on the Pena double. It's inside to BJ.
That's good pitching, though. Pitching inside off the plate right there. Olivo has shown he'll double up in there. He likes to call back-to-back fastballs in. So it's not automatic he's going back to set up his curveball here. And he is setting up in. You got to watch catchers' patterns, too, because they get in patterns also. Not just pitchers and what they like to call. And I noticed last night Olivo likes to double up with the fastballs. And now Bannister's not so sure that's what he wants to do.
And the pitch is down. Covered up by Olivo.
I don't think there was conviction either way there with either guy what they wanted to do. Olivo wanted to go in with a fastball. And Bannister shook him off and came back with a little cutter right there. Whatever you do, you got to do it with conviction.
There's a line shot, base hit. Up the left field line. Gross will score. Brignac hits third. Foley's going to wave him around. Relay throws not in time. And now Upton's going to try to go to third. He is safe. Rays get 2 out of that. Take a 3-0 lead as Upton ripped it up the left field line. Upton with 2 runs batted in on a double, and he moves up as the throw went through.
Yeah, Olivo wanted the ball in the last 2 pitches, and Bannister wasn't convicted that that's where he's going to go. So you saw that ball. Olivo was setting up in, and that ball was out over the plate. Credit to BJ because he reads the ball well here. He's halfway, and as soon as the ball hits the dirt off of Olivo's chest protector, he's gone to third base with 1 out.
So now Upton's at third. Here's Crawford. The pitch is a strike. Crawford walked in the first and scored the initial run of the night. The Rays have 2 more in the second. 0-2.
Yeah, I like to look at those swings, Dwayne, because you could see, I mean, Olivo, the 2 pitches earlier, he wanted the fastball in. He wanted to double up. Bannister wasn't sold on it. Then he threw a cutter. Then he did try to come back in, but the ball ran out over the plate, and BJ dropped the head on it.
Crawford stays alive with
Here's what we're talking about.
Fastball.
There's Olivo. I mean, he wants it right in there. Watch where this ball is. That's dropping the head on it right out over the plate. That's a good piece of hitting by BJ. Short swing right there. But Bannister missed by about 15 inches. Banny doesn't throw that hard, but you still got to be able to pitch inside, even at 88.
Crawford chops it to the shortstop with the infield in, and Pena throws him out, keeping Upton at third. 2 gone. BJ was ready to come down the line if he had mishandled that in any fashion. But Pena fielded it cleanly and looked him back for just a glance. Made the play.
I think he did the right thing, too, not going on contact there. I mean, just read the play, and he did. If Pena would have come up and thrown a strike to home, he would have been out. That Ibar and then Pena on deck have a chance.
Willie takes ball 1. Ibar hit the ball on a line, but to the second baseman his first time. Rays have 3 runs, 4 hits tonight. This one's skipping in, and it's headed to the backstop, and Upton scores standing up. That makes it 4-0. A wild pitch, the second of the night, charged to the right-hander Bannister.
Well, that one run was created by B.J. Upton because he was able to get to third base on his double. Then he read the throw home to get to third. And, you know, with 1 out or 2 outs, that's why you want to get the extra base, get to third base. So after the ground out by Crawford with 2 outs, you can still score without a base hit. And that's how right there on a wild pitch.
And a base hit right back through the middle. So Ibar follows with his second line drive, and this one results in a base hit. Ray Hillman a little uneasy in the Kansas City dugout. The Rays have put up 3 to take a 4-0 lead. So now Ibar is aboard for Carlos Pena. That's a fair ball just inside the line to retire the side. Rays come up with 4 hits, 3 runs in the inning. And at the end of 2, it's now a 4-0 ball game, Tampa Bay.
Bay Rays and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Rays have built a 4-0 lead through the first 2 innings against Kansas City tonight. Jeff Neiman never faced the Royals before. Off to a good start. Here's David DeJesus fouling away the first pitch. A fastball, and that's a strike. And through the first couple innings, Neiman has come out throwing hard with a good fastball and a good breaking ball.
Yeah, he's got good rhythm, good pacing, pitching with confidence, which is something that Joe Madden talked about. He's pitching with a lot of confidence right now.
He drops that breaking ball over for a strike. Got that knuckle curve, that spike curve that a lot of the pitchers out of Rice University in Houston throw. This one a little low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Boy, I'll tell you, right through the middle of this order in the second inning with great stuff. I mean, great stuff by Neiman in the second. Fastball is fouled out of play. So it's still 1-2 with DeJesus leading off. Catcher Olivo is next, and then Pena.
He has It's an interesting line so far. First inning, 3 43s. Second inning, 3 Ks.
Yeah. And he strikes out David DeJesus. That's 4 consecutive strikeouts. Boy, he's made some very good pitches.
Take a look in the turn here. Breaking ball. That's a little, almost like a backup slider on that one. I don't believe that was a slight curve. It was 82 miles an hour. It backed up on him a little bit till it worked.
And a strike. Well, he'll give you that fastball and that spiked or knuckle curve. He'll throw a slider, and he's got a little change-up. Broken bat, ground ball to short. Brignac makes the pickup and the play. 2 up, 2 down here in the third. Reminder, fans, the $250,000 Mustang Money tickets are on sale right now. Register your non-winning tickets now through June 11th for second chance to win. Second chance prizes include a 2010 Ford Mustang V6 convertible, an ultimate Florida baseball weekend getaway, or $100 gas cards. Visit FLALottery.com for details. Tony Pena Jr. takes a pitch for a strike. Well, that fastball just nice and easy for him.
Yeah, it is. It's really, he's not rushing through his delivery. He's gathering himself well in the turn, good balance, and then fires toward home plate.
And here's Zobrist in front of this chopper. Throw to first, and it's another 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the third coming, 4-0 Tampa Bay.
Half of the third inning. Last night, a bit of a scary moment, guys. With all the injuries right now to the Rays, the last thing they need is something to happen to their head athletic trainer. And last night, Ron Porterfield deflected a line drive foul ball, ended up in the stands. You see the rub down there by Evan Longoria. As we talked to Porterfield today, he said not only did he not ice it, but there's no mark on there. That's the sign of a great athletic trainer showing the way for the rest of the team. Guys, by the way, in our latest Ask the Announcers question, Patrick was involved with a youth game yesterday. His son was. And what happened was there was 2 strikes. The kid foul tips the ball back. It kind of lodged between the catcher's mask and his chest protector. And then the kid picked up the ball. One side said it should have been a 3rd strike. The other side said no, it has to go directly into the glove, guys. As a former catcher, Kevin, are going with the rule book? Do we know the answers?
We both had the rule books out, believe me.
And it's good that it's good that we had those rule books before the game started studying, because it just so happened that we turned to that page while we were studying. It's ball 3. It's 3-1 to Zobrist. Well,
you read it.
You were the catcher, but here's
it's all right. You did the homework on it.
It's got to go directly to the catcher's mitt or his hand. And then if it rebounds and he catches it, that's one thing. But he's got to make contact. The ball's got to make contact with the mitt or with the catcher's hand.
Yeah, that first, exactly right. And that's
3-2, solidly hit, but right at Meyer in center, and Zobrist is the first out.
You always want to be quiet when Ben's up there squaring one up. That thing might go out of the ballpark.
Well, not only with
here's another one.
but now Joyce. We got Benzo and Nat Joe here. These two guys, and boy, they hit the ball hard, as we saw last night when Joyce had a great offensive night. Pitch is a strike. He's come up here and a chance to play in front of the home folks. Hit a home run in the 5th inning Sunday, and then homered in the 8th inning last night.
Oh, is that a blast? Low fastball at the knees, and he smoked it. The right field seats. That's a good question, though, Todd, by Patrick, because, I mean, that's why you carry the rule book as a manager. You never know. I used to carry it in my back pocket.
Sure.
Tried to be the Gene Mock of the American League back in the day. Well, actually, you do as a minor league manager. That was part of our training to make sure we knew all the rules. As a catcher, of course, you're supposed to know everything behind the plate. But yeah, my initial reaction was it has to hit the glove first, and then if it goes off your chest protector, then you can still catch it.
Yeah,
it's the rebound, but if it has to hit the glove first. So both sides were a little bit right on that. It just can't lodge off your chest protector first, and then you trap it for strike 3.
Pitch is down. So it's a full count here.
It's an interesting thing, too. People used to ask me, how do you catch foul tips? Can you practice that?
Chopper deep first. Pitcher Bannister over safe. Bannister had to reach down, and that distracted him from completing that play, and Matt Joyce is aboard. So Joyce hustling down there and rewarded by reaching safely.
Well, Matt's hustling all the way down the line, head down, trying to get through the bag. Oh, a little flinch right there on the flip. Runs it a few steps and a low flip, and Bannister didn't quite get to the bag yet. You'd like to give the ball to the pitcher before he gets the bag, so he's not looking for the ball and the bag at the same time.
Bannister didn't argue the call much. It's going to be an error on that low flip, an error by Butler. And the first base umpire with a direct view of it. So he must have seen that Bannister missed the bag.
Well, and I think, too, Billy Butler ran a few steps before he flipped it. I think if you flip it or give an overhand toss before Banny gets the bag, then he can catch the ball and then run the last few steps and touch first base. It's tough to do both. Look for the bag and the ball at the same time.
So that's the first error of the game. Second error of the year charged to Butler, the first baseman. And it's a 1-ball, no strike count to Gabe Gross, who opened the 3-run second with a single. That's a strike.
I was going to say, the one way you catch foul tips, there is a method to it, and it's make sure that you're up close enough to the hitter. As a catcher, if you're too deep behind the hitter, you'll never catch a foul tip. You go to the ball and receive it, and you should be an arm's length. If you lift your glove side arm, you should be able to touch the back shoulder of the hitter. That's as a general guideline you give your catchers.
Here goes the runner, a wave and a miss, and the throw. He's in there. Head first slide by Joyce, in under the tag, picking up his first stolen base. The Rays stay aggressive on the bases.
Yeah, it's tougher with a left-hand hitter up there, and a big swing and backswing by Gross. And Oliva had to kind of go to his left instead of getting through the ball and going right toward his target. His body and weight was going toward the Kansas City dugout, and he didn't get enough on the throw, and that's why it sailed on him, almost like a pitcher opening up too soon.
Well, that's the first big league stolen base for Joyce. Although in the minor leagues, he has stolen a few bases. And on this club, hey, there's a ground ball and a base hit into left. Joyce heads around third, hangs on there, and now Gross is caught between first and second. Joyce comes down the line. He's going to try to score and is tagged out. And Gross winds up at second base. Well, a big turn by Joyce at third base. Then he stopped. He was going to go back to third. Gross was caught between first and second, so he winds up at second on a base hit.
Well, Tom Foley's stopping Joyce all the way, and with runners at first and third, as it would have been with Navarro up there, I think Foley did the right thing, because that would have been a close play at home plate. And so Gabe got caught in no man's land with the big turn. I think he was guessing that there was going to be a play at home plate, and he was trying to get them to cut the ball, assuming Joyce was going to score.
So it's a base hit for Gross. He winds up at second on the play that eventually turned out to be at the plate. The left fielder, DeJesus. There's a bunt by Navarro, backhanded by Bannister, and the throw to first is in time. So the Rays do not score. We're through 3, and it's 4-0 Tampa Bay. Game heads into the 4th inning. Time for our Aflac trivia question. Aflac, we've got you under our wing. Well, before the Rays lost, Jason Bartlett and Akinori Iwamura to injury back on the 24th of May. When was the last time a team lost their double play combination in the same game? And I've got a feeling we have to go back a little ways for that one. That doesn't happen every day. That's what the Rays are living with right now. I mean, 2 of the key players on this ball club. Here's the top of the order. Mitch Meyer going after the pitch and lofting a fly ball to center. Upton is waiting for it and makes the catch. And so that is out number 1.
You know, I actually read that question somewhere yesterday. I won't say it, of course. I was surprised that it was a ways a long time ago.
Yes.
I'm trying not to reveal it.
Well, I'm with you, because I read it too, I don't remember where.
I don't either. We read
that's only yesterday.
We got to study the rule book tonight, don't we? The game.
The pitch is a strike.
Rule book class for half an hour.
Pitch is down. 1-1. We're in the 4th. Pitch is away. It's 2-1. Gallaspo grounded chopper toward the middle his first time, and Zobrist threw him out. Did he go? He held up. That's going to run the count to 3 balls and a strike. This is the first time Neiman has had a 3-ball count on a hitter tonight.
Take a look at the side shot of this. Did he break the wrist? Well, he held it.
That will take the count to 3-2. Myers gone out to center. 3-2. And a swing and a miss. He just threw that fastball right by him. That is out number 2. Be sure and stop into your local that is. Not your local, your local Hess Express, and pick up the 09 Rays pocket schedule. It includes $5 off coupon for a pair of tickets to see the Rays Saturday nights. And don't miss Ludacris following the game June 13th. Hess Express, a presenting partner of the 09 Rays Summer Concert Series. Now the pitch to Billy Butler is inside a little bit. 1 ball, no strikes. With 5 strikeouts, no walks allowed by Neiman. And a pop-up right side. Pena crossing into foul territory, waits and makes the catch to retire the side. Another 1-2-3 inning. That's 12 in a row to start this game for Neiman. Lead this game, and it's time to get the answer to our Aflac trivia question. Aflac, we've got you under our wing before the Rays lost Bartlett and Evo Mora on the 24th of May. When was the last time a team lost their double play combination to injury in the same game? For that, we go back to 1947. How about that when the Dodgers lost Pee Wee Reese and Eddie Stanky? Redyak takes the pitch, and that's a strike. So 1947, and the Brooklyn Dodgers lost Pee Wee Reese and Eddie Stanky on the same day. The Rays lose Aki and Jason Bartlett on the same day this year. Aki for the year, and Bartlett went on the 15-day disabled list. Jack looking in a little bit 0-2, and the pitch is up. Bartlett still leads the major leagues in hitting, by the way, at 373.
He's still second in All-Star voting, too, isn't he? Shortstop?
Yep. Redyak misses. He'll have to be thrown out by Olivo to Butler. So that's the second strikeout by Bannister, out number 1 in the 4th. Sign up at Kane's Furniture for a chance to meet one of your favorite Rays. And if Rays pitchers come up with 10 strikeouts in a home game, log on to Cane'sStrikeoutContest.com. Print a voucher. Can be redeemed at Kane's for a free Papa John's pizza. Get to Kane's today. And there's another base hit for Upton on the first pitch. Breaking ball that time and right back through the middle. He doubled on a fastball up the left field line in the second. So he's 2 for 3.
And I think this is just reaction by BJ. I don't think he's looking curveball. I think he just sees it's up. Fastball, look for the ball and adjusts the curveball. It was up and he drills it right back through the middle. Nice short compact swing on that one. He's coming.
Boy, what a sign that is for this offense. Up the right side by Crawford, down beyond the bullpen. Strike one.
You know, that ball the other night when he pinch hit, I mean, he missed a home run by about, what, a foot?
Yep. Yep.
That would have been a sweep against Minnesota. And that's a good sign that he's getting shorter with the swing.
You could start to see it over the last few games. Oh, that pitch out almost got part of the plate. It was high. The count is 1-1. So if the Rays can get B.J. Upton swinging the bat the way they know that he can and has and know that he will, and he's pretty close to that right now. He's getting some good hacks up there. He's back in. Count 1-1 to Crawford. Foul the other way. 1-2.
Well, you know, it's the right time for BJ too, with all the injuries to the starting lineup that the Rays have, for him to now get hot.
That's very important. The Rays now with 9 men on the disabled list. Ground ball, base hit through the hole. Into left field. Upton stops at second. So Crawford is aboard. So great speed at first and second with one out. Don't forget you can experience a Rays game from the all-inclusive Whitney Bank Club, offering extraordinary seating and luxurious lounge and dining areas. The Whitney Bank Club offers an upscale full menu buffet and inclusive drink options. Call 888-FAN-RAYS to ensure a great night of Rays baseball at Tropicana Field. Ooh, a big cut by Ibar on a fastball, strike one. He was thinking about adding 3 with that swing.
In a hurry, he sure was. Figured, you know what, with the 2 speedsters out there, I'm going to get a pretty good first pitch to hit. And he did. He just got underneath it. Might as well take a shot at it early in the count.
Nothing wrong with that. He had the right idea. There's not going to be any criticism for a guy trying to hit a 3-run home run in that situation. Now pickoff play at second, and back in is B.J. Pena, slipping back in there from his shortstop spot. There go the runners. Pitches a ball, and the throw is not in time. The Rays pull off a double steal. Upton stealing third, and Crawford trails into second. BJ's 17th steal, and for Crawford his 33rd of the year.
One thing that Bannister didn't do is he didn't make BJ Upton stop. BJ kept his feet moving. He kept his feet moving, and he had that momentum. And he got a great jump. Here it is. Watch his feet right here. Keeps him moving, keeps him moving. Didn't make him stop, so he had kind of the motion going toward third base. You got to make the good base runner stop. That's the one way. He used to have to try to make Ricky Henderson not steal bases by making him stop, and he was always keeping his feet moving.
2-1 to count to Ibar. blocked by Olivo. 3 balls and a strike. I think that's the 5th stolen base of third by Upton. BJ has 17 steals. I think 5 of those have been steals of third.
There was absolutely no fear, too, because Pena's done a pretty good job at shortstop getting in behind the runners and putting the daylight play on in the pickup. I mean, they just tried to pick him off the pitch before.
That's a strike on the inside part of the plate, and the count is full.
It's a situation here with second and third and 1 out. You might have the contact play on because at worst it'd be first and third with 2 outs if there's a ground ball to one of the infielders and Pena coming up. So you might just try to go for it here, make the defense make a play.
And ball 4. Ibar loads the bases by drawing the walk. They're going to be loaded for Carlos Pena.
Well, you don't have to worry about it now.
Bullpen's going to get busy. Bob McClure, the pitching coach, puts a call into the bullpen, and he's going to go to the mound. Take his time getting there to give the bullpen time to swing into action. Terry Hillman, the manager, has been pacing a little bit. It's really been that kind of night all evening for Brian Bannister. The Rays have had men in scoring position in each of the front 4 innings. So Bannister, conversation with Bob McClure there on the mound. So if you're traveling and can't catch the Rays, here's a great idea. You can always catch the game on your computer with MLB.TV. The ultimate baseball experience features 100 out-of-market games per week live on your computer. Catch those games you missed on demand. For more details, visit RaysBaseball.com, where baseball is always on. See the left-hander Ron Mahay starting to get loose in the bullpen as quickly as he can.
It's an important at-bat because Rays kind of blew it last inning with the base running blunder, took themselves out of a potential big inning, and now you got to get a couple more points here because it's a 4-run lead and Neiman's throwing great, but now you want to open it up, put the throttle down right here, keep the intensity going, good quality at bat, trying to get a couple of runs here.
You see Carlos, the bases loaded, hitting .313. The pitch is down and in. He has a grand slam this year. That came against the Yankees back on the 13th of April. He hit that one off Chin-Ming Wong. One of 3 grand slams the Rays have hit this year. And a ground ball down to first. Butler goes to the plate to get the out, and he had to hesitate because he was otherwise going to throw the ball right into his pitcher Bannister, who was headed toward first, and he had to double pump to make sure he didn't low bridge him.
Well, Pena hit it. I mean, he squared it up. He just didn't get underneath it. Can't fault Carlos for that. I mean, he's trying to do his job. This is a bullet right at the first base and playing even with the bag, and he did. He double pumped right there, and really what he could have done and should have done is go 3-6-3 with a double play. He should have thrown to Pena to get the force out there and gone for 2 that way, and he would have had plenty of time to do it.
Base is still loaded for Zobrist, who takes a breaking ball low. So Crawford's at third, Ibar is at second, Pena reaching on the fielder's choice, with Butler going to Olivo to cut down Upton.
What the manager's telling you, though, when he says first base and you guys play in corners in, is he wants the out at home plate for sure. So that's how the defense was set up. But once he realized he couldn't get a double play, double pump, he still had plenty of time to go to shortstop and then back to first base for the double play.
2-0 the count to Zobrist, who's walked and lined to center. He takes it for a strike. It's 2-1. Well, we saw Pena's slam, and here's the one hit by Ben Zobrist off Matt Thornton of the White Sox on the 17th of April, just 4 days after Pena had hit his against the Yankees. Zobrist hit one against the White Sox. Fouls it the other way. It's 2-2.
That night against the White Sox, that was a 95-mile-an-hour cutter. All those White Sox pitchers are learning the cutter. I don't know why Thornton would need that. The guy throws 97, but he did. But for Ben to come off the bench and be ready for that, my goodness, turn it around. He did.
2-2 the count now to Ben. He lets a fly ball deep to left. DeJesus to the track. He did it again. Ben Zobrist hits a grand slam home run. This time to the opposite field. A grand slam for Zobrist. His second slam of the year. His 10th home run of the season. And the Rays cash in on the bases loaded situation as Ben Zobrist unloads a grand slam to make it 8-0. What else is this guy going to do? Here it is.
Fastball away. It was up, and he went right with it. Look at this swing right here. Short, compact, and right through the ball. I was talking to Joe Madden today, and he goes, you know what he reminds me of with his setup from the left side is Stan Musial. For people that know and remember Stan Musial, had the hands low in a good hitting position.
Well, a curtain call for Ben Zobrist. So Zobrist hits one out. Rays lead 8-0. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Metro PCS. Unlimit yourself. As he faces Matt Joyce, a check swing and a roller left side picked up by T and throw to first. Boy, he almost beat that out. They just got him at first to retire the side, but the Rays score 4 as Ben Zobrist hits his 4th career grand slam, the 2nd of the season, and the Rays lead 8-0. Carlos Pena's double started the scoring. That came back in the first. B.J. Upton doubled home 2 in the third. The Rays scored 3 in that one, and then 4 on the grand slam home run off the bat of Ben Zobrist in the bottom half of the fourth. Meanwhile, Jeff Neiman has been dealing out there. He throws a first pitch strike here to Mike Jacobs. Neiman with 5 strikeouts. He hasn't walked anybody. Fly ball, short center. In comes BJ, and he makes the catch. That'll be the first out. Ben Zobrist, who hit the grand slam we mentioned, his second of the year. He's hit 4 for the Rays, and they've all come since last August 29th. He hit one against Baltimore here at Tropicana Field in the 4th inning of that game. Then on the 13th of September last year, in the 4th inning, he hit a home run at Yankee Stadium with the bases loaded, connecting off Sidney Ponson. Then with the Yankees, 1-0 the count to Jose Guillen. And tonight in the 4th inning, he hits his second grand slam of this year. The other one being against the White Sox that we just saw when he hit one off Matt Thornton.
Well, you know, I did talk to Joe Madden and mentioned what we talked about last night about the All-Star team.
Yeah.
He said that's not out of the question. I'm paraphrasing, but
yes,
it's basically what he said.
He had the ball come in on him, and he pops it into short left. Well, I tell you, you look at his production. Look at Zobrist. He's playing second base. He's played everywhere, number 1, which is tremendous value right there alone. And now he has 10 home runs, 32 runs batted in. I mean, he's pushing. He's not in the top 10 yet in some important categories, but you know, he just hasn't played in as many games as a lot of those league leaders, but boy, he's starting to push him now.
He really is. I mean, this is too deep into the season now. There's no fluke with this. I mean, this goes back to last year, obviously.
1-1 to count to Tien.
I mean, and Joe did say that to me. He said, you know, he reminds me, obviously from the left side, of Stan Musial. He's changed his setup, and you know, he got stronger, of course, but just his approach.
Yeah, and that's something that he made a concentrated effort to do. Line drive into center, and that's going to fall for a base hit. The first hit given up by Neiman. 2 outs into the 5th inning, and he's going to get a nice hand. Jeff Neiman, who's had great stuff, gets a good hand from the crowd here. He had retired 14 in a row before this base hit.
And it is a clean single. It's a high fastball up out of the plate. Teehan drills it into center field. But Neiman set the tone for this game. It's 8-0 now, but he set the tone by putting zeros up there early and pounding the strike zone to let the offense relax a little bit.
So he works from the stretch for the first time. The pitch to DeJesus is a high fastball. And you're right about that. He really did set the tone. He came out all business. He had great velocity with his fastball. He immediately got that breaking ball in there and was working quickly. Missed a couple times here out of the stretch, and it's 2-0. And that's always a challenge for a big guy like Neiman. And he's not the only guy who's had that challenge. Taller guys are like that.
Now, there's a big tall guy trying for number 300 tonight that had to get it together. That was Randy Johnson.
Yep.
He's pitching up in Washington, D.C. tonight against the Nationals, looking for his 300th win. And he didn't get it together. He had to talk to Nolan Ryan when he was with the Mariners. And Nolan was with the Texas Rangers to help him with his mechanics and how to use his legs correctly to get command. And after that 92 season, he never walked 100 guys in a season again, Randy Johnson. And that's a key for Neiman, like we talked about in the open. He's been throwing strikes the last 4 starts. He's only walked 5 guys.
Ball 3 outside. 3-0. So just a little wrinkle here as he tries to gather himself.
You mentioned it. He hasn't been in the stretch yet. That's the thing. He's been in the windup the whole game.
Tee in at first, 2 outs. And there's ball 4. So he gives up the walk. Put runners at first and second for Kansas City with 2 outs to bring up Miguel Olivo. Be sure to visit RaysBaseball.com. There you can enter the tobacco-free Florida Rays Junior Announcer promotion throughout June. You can win Rays tickets and have your child serve as the Rays Junior Stadium announcer during a Rays home game. Visit RaysBaseball.com for all the details. Now Miguel Olivo.
I wish they had all that kind of stuff when I was a kid.
What a great opportunity.
I bet.
There's a strike. I mean, not that we would want to encourage anyone to lead the wayward lives that we have led.
No, absolutely
in this
not.
business. But who knows? That might be the start of something good. 1 strike to count. He gets a pitch over to Olivo. Ground ball down to third. Ibar is going to take it to second to Zobrist. That forces DeJesus to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and it's 8-0 Tampa Bay.
Nothing behind the big man, Jeff Neiman, and we're also joined by another big man at Sun Sports, Paul Kennedy. PK, glad to have you here at the baseball game, but beginning tomorrow, some special basketball coverage in the showdown.
God, it's great to be here. We go from the World Series to the NBA Finals on Sun Sports, one of the great weeks in the history of the network. Tomorrow night, live from Staples Center, all the coverage of Game 1 of the Orlando Magic and the Lakers post-game. David Steele, Matty Gukas are there in L.A. and will be live right after the game on Sun Sports.
So we have our game tomorrow on Sun Sports, starting at 4:08. By the time that game ends, people can hunker down, watch the NBA, and get ready for you guys, huh?
We'll go live into both locker rooms immediately following ABC's coverage. Hear from Dwight Howard, also from Kobe and the Laker locker room. And then when the series comes back here, myself, Whit Watson, will both get involved in the coverage. It's going to be tremendous. And obviously, we're all very excited about how far the Magic have come. If they win this series against the Lakers, they'll become the first team in NBA history to take out 3 clubs that won 60 or more games. Wow. That's never happened.
Paul, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Guys, what a year it's been to be on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida. Rays last year, the Magic this year. Back to you.
Feeling those good vibrations. Here's Gross, Gabe Gross. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Gross, Navarro, and then Brignac do against the lefty Ron Mahay. One and two. Well, the Rays with a 4-run 4th inning after they'd scored 1 in the first and 3 in the second. It's been another big offensive night for the Rays. Gross fouls that one out of play. Count is still 1-2.
Well, it was really important to open that inning up last inning. Carlos, squared the ball up and hit a shot to first base of Butler, but because they couldn't turn two, it gave Ben Zobrist a try with the bases loaded, and we know what Ben does when the bases are loaded.
Boy, there's a strike call. So Gross is the first out in the fifth. Don't forget, fans, this season team up with the St. Petersburg Times, the local newspaper, with one of the top 10 sports sections in the country. Subscribe by calling 877 The Times or visiting TampaBay.com. Well, the Rays came into this series averaging 5.5 runs a game. That after the slow offensive start, when they really struggled to score 4 runs a game for a good part of April. But they have been very good. You see our Firestone MLB runs scored leaderboard, and the Rays up to date 308 runs. They're tops in that department, not only in the American League, as you saw, with 8 more than the Yankees, but they've outscored every other National League team as well. So they continue to lead the major leagues in runs scored.
Well,
it's a strike, 2-1.
Dwayne, that's with BJ off to a slow start. He's getting heated up now because of the shoulder, of course, the surgery he had. DeHonor really hasn't started hitting consistently yet. Pat Burrell got hurt, sitting on the DL with 1 home run. That says a lot for the bench. Willie Ibar, Ben Zobrist. Now Matt Joyce chipping in, Gabe Gross. Besides the core, with Evan Longoria and Carlos Pena.
Now Navarro hits one deep down the left field line. That's out of here. Home run for DeHonor Navarro. Navarro makes it 9-0. That's his 3rd home run of the year. So the Rays tack on another run.
That'd be huge if DeHonor can get going too. He's been better of late. His average the night before that hit 204. But him and BJ, they get going. That'll pick up the slack also.
So Navarro goes deep. Reed Brignac fouls the first one. That's a strike. It's his 2nd home run off a left-hander this year. He connected in early April off the Baltimore lefty George Sherrill. Hit one off Nolasco against the Marlins on the road. That sharply hit foul down toward the bullpen. Two-strike count to Brignac. Singled and scored in the 2nd inning. 8 runs off Bannister, now 1 off Mayhay. The pitch too low. 1-2. With some battling at bats here on this homestand, and he's battling the left-hander Mayhay right now.
Yeah, Joe Madden had said that he was pleased with the way Brignac's been swinging the bat, staying in there. He likes what he's seen better this time around.
What great experience this is for Brignac.
You bet.
And he takes a look at a called third strike. Out number 2 of the inning. He's 1 for 3. Get in on the 09 Rays action when you get exclusive on-field seating with your group of 50 or more at the Checkers Bullpen Cafe. Available dates are going fast. Act now to make your private group reservations just behind the Rays bullpen by calling 727-825-3406 or online at RaysBaseball.com. 1 ball, no strikes. The count to B.J. Upton. B.J.'s 2 for 3 tonight. Easily could be 3 for 3. He had 2 hits and a walk in the game last night. 1-1 now. Upton had a couple days off. He was not in the starting lineup Sunday, utilized as a pinch hitter. And then, of course, the Rays finally had a day off Monday. He had the multiple hit game last night. He's swinging the bat well tonight.
He's up to 219. Got over that 200 mark. Now he's keep climbing from there. The next mark is 250. Get over that. And take off from there.
Ahead in the count against the lefty, 3-1. Three balls, 2 strikes. Out in front. Rays got 8 off the starter Bannister in 3 2/3. Now they have a run off Mayhay. Jay fouls it back, so he'll see another 3-2 pitch. Rays trying to edge their way up to the 500 mark. 2 games under right now. And BJ draws a walk. He reaches base again. 2-out walk. Crawford on his way to the plate.
Another good at bat for BJ because he fouled off a 3-2 pitch that was a little bit off the plate, probably ball 4, but he shortened up and fouled it off to make sure he got another pitch. And if he cuts down those strikeouts like we've been talking about, just puts it in play with his speed, I mean, that's a world of difference.
Strike 1 to Crawford. Yeah, he's just going to, if he makes contact, he's going to get his share of extra base hits, home runs, and so forth. 0-2 the count to Carl.
Well, he's shown that this homestand too, BJ, because he looped the ball into right field the other day with 2 strikes against Minnesota. He had the infield hit against Minnesota, battling 2 strikes.
Wide now, 1-2. And a one-hopper into center field. Upton will stop at second, and Crawford's on for the 3rd time. Crawford now has 71 hits.
Yeah, 2 more tonight for Carl. And that was just a short contact swing. The ball jumps off his bat right through the infield. Put it in play, but nice and short.
Ibar is going to hit right-handed against Mayhay. pitch low. Royals keep action in their bullpen. Ramirez, who was in the game last night, Rafael Ramirez. It's inside. 2-0.
I like that what Larry Vanover did. I mean, that could have been a pitch he could have just said, let's call it a strike and get this game moving. But, for a hitter, that's not right. That was definitely inside. You want to see him call it the same way, be consistent, not call it by what the score is.
3-0 here. The Rays have scored in every inning except the third. Ball 4. So with 2 outs, a walk, a single, and a walk, and the bases are loaded for Carlos Pena. Olivo out to pick up some time on the mound. Ramirez throwing in the bullpen. Pena opened the scoring for the Rays when he doubled home Crawford back in the first inning. We're now in the 5th, and it's 9-0 Tampa Bay. Carlos with 17 home runs and 42 runs batted in, leading the league in homers. Hits it sharply to first. Butler will make the play unassisted to retire the side. The Rays come up with a run. They leave the bases loaded. The run provided on the home run by Deanna Navarro, and through 5 it's 9-0 Tampa Bay.
Sixth inning on our website Wednesday. Ask the announcers. I joined the guys up here, and I have the questions. This is like Karnak.
Yeah, you're always welcome here. You know
do we have to study? Is there
in my hand? No, this one I don't think you have to study for, but it's a question from Larry. He hears the term cutter a lot.
What's his last name, Larry?
Ooh, we're only giving first names.
Okay.
On a first name basis.
All right.
He wants to know what is a cutter?
Good question. Good question. First pitch to Tony Pena is a strike.
A cutter is an offshoot of your four-seam fastball. You just adjust your fingers a little bit. I don't have a ball with me right here, but I can show you. And it looks like a fastball to the hitter, but let's take a right-handed pitcher like right now, like Jeff Neiman, and at the last instant, it has a little bit of movement at the end, late movement, like maybe 3 inches, 4 inches. for a left-handed hitter comes in on her hands. For a righty, it'll fade away. Mariano Rivera has the natural cutter.
Yeah, that's strikeout number 6 here for Neiman, the first out in the 6th. And the bottom line on all of that, I guess with that cutter, Kevin, you're going to get a little shorter break. And for pitchers, it's all about deception one way or another. To have one pitch look like another pitch, or using the element of surprise and throwing a pitch in a good location the hitter's not expecting. But you know, that cutter, it's an interesting pitch. And you mentioned Mariano Rivera. I really think a hitter's better off hitting right-handed against him, because a right-handed pitcher will use a cutter to battle left-handed hitters. If they can run that ball in on them just a little bit, they get it in on the handle,
right,
and negate any power or hitting the ball with authority.
Right. The horseshoe of the baseball, that's a four-seam grip. That's everybody uses that on the field if you can do it. Catcher, infielder, outfielder, you try to get the four-seam grip because you want the ball to be true. That's more of a power grip. You're going to get more velocity on it, and it's going to be a truer throw.
2-2 is sliced into left and caught by Crawford. So 2 up and 2 down here in the 6th.
And the slider will have a tilt to it. It'll have 2 types of movement, down and away. It has a bigger break. That's another offshoot off the horseshoe of the grip of the baseball. The cutter's kind of in between that. Different pitchers adjust it, differently. And being a catcher, I like to learn the different grips of all my pitchers. Even when I was teaching the catchers, I wanted to know exactly how they held it. Guys are a little bit different. Right here, when you come to the trop, you'll see James Shields do some teaching on the scoreboard.
Aspo hits a fly ball to left.
Well, Neiman continue. He's pitching so well.
I mean, Neiman's in such great command. A quick hitting. Bottom of the 6th, 9-0 Rays. And Zobrist is going to lead it off. He hit the grand slam in the 4th for Alltel Wireless. Now there's a circle for everyone. Call 510 or 23 numbers on any network with My Circle, exclusively from Alltel. So here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Zobrist to lead off against a new battery for Kansas City. Brian Pena catching. Horacio Ramirez on the mound, and the pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes. So we now have a Pena catching, a Pena at short, and the Rays have Carlos Pena at first base. 1-1 the count to Zobrist. Ball, 2 strikes. Ramirez pitched an inning and a third last night, gave up a couple hits, picked up a strikeout. Service fouls it out of play. Vince hitting .308 this time in. For the Rays, 0-1-1 for Kansas City. Zobrist hits this one a ton back into center. Meyer will go to the wall for it and make the catch. And Zobrist hit that ball a long way. How about him tonight? He lined to center in the third before he hit the grand slam, and he hits this one deep to center.
Yeah, he didn't miss that one. Forget another home run by much. He is really squaring the ball up with good bat speed.
Wow. You know, bat speed, I think he is stronger, but he's gotten to a point where his bat speed is so much better, I think. And he's done that by coordinating his whole approach to hitting. You know, where hitters and pitchers alike might get caught up in the mechanics. You know.
Yes, I do.
Trying to get everything in sync, and he's just managed to do that over an extended period of time, and there's a calculation in him that has gotten him to that point. Chopper to second, and Joyce is out of there.
Well, that's what Joe Madden was talking about today with Ben. He got it, and I asked him specifically, you know, he's had Ben a few years now. Why so much power from his vantage point? He said he's just in a better hitting position. He's got his hands lower in a better position. He's got a nice load. He's balanced, and he's very short to the ball. And hitting is just all about timing and rhythm, and of course good mechanics to go with it, and a lot of ability, obviously, but not too many moving parts. Very short with the stride too.
Pitch to Gross is down. There have been a couple of guys really key for him. One's his brother-in-law, Dan Hefner. He's coach at Dallas Baptist. He really helped him with that approach. And Jamie Savalas started in Nashville and now in Dallas with his hitting. And he said he took to heart what Rocco Baldelli told him last spring. He says, you know, a kid never worries about his mechanics. He just swings. And
that's
he said,
true.
boy,
yeah.
That really simplified things for him. Gabe Gross chops out 1-2-3. We are at the end of 6, and it's 9-0 Rays. Hey, baseball fans, $250,000 Mustang money tickets are on sale right now. Register your non-winning tickets now through June 11th for a second chance to win. Second chance prizes include a 2010 Ford Mustang V6 convertible, an Ultimate Florida baseball weekend getaway, or $100 gas cards. Visit FLAFlorida.com for details. 9-0. Jeff Neiman back to work the 7th inning. He made only 66 pitches through 6 innings, and he has 6 strikeouts to go with it, 1 walk, and he's given up 1 hit. Billy Butler leads off the 7th inning. Sends one into right field. Matt Joyce is there and makes the catch. First pitch fastball, and Butler is the first out.
He's been in a great rhythm all game long. Only been in the stretch position once. That was in the 5th inning.
You know, he's had 9 at-bats where they've either they've been finished after 1 or 2 pitches. Therefore, a very low pitch count. Mike Jacobs takes one too low. 1 ball and no strikes. It's a strike around the knees. Rays made a change and left defensively. Gabe Kapler is out there. Look at the pitch count so far for Neiman. Very, very good.
Incredible. Well, his last 4 starts, his earned run average has been excellent, 2.86. And ERA comes into the night at 4.44, and he's dipping below 4 now.
Big cut. Jacobs missed it on the off-speed pitch. Changed up on him there.
I was going to say, we haven't seen that one yet, have we? That's an excellent changeup. Why not? Break it out.
This one down and in. 2-2. Rays and the Royals will play a 10-game season series this year. Great cut and a miss. Strikeout number 7 for Neiman.
Strikeouts for Jeff Neiman. Back to the 2nd inning. There's a curveball right there. Fastball up before the slider. Power fastball. 4-seamer right there. Another breaking ball with the slider away. That's a hammer for a curveball right there. Fastball in. A strike. I thought we were seeing another one.
Guillen takes a strike, yeah. Well, that was a strike. It begins the at-bat to Jose Guillen. Fouls it back. Guillen winds up, takes that big cut on a fastball and fouls it. 2. What a good night for Neiman. And a wave and a miss. Fastball takes care of Jose Guillen. 1, 2, 3 go the Royals. Bottom of the 7th coming. 9-0 Tampa Bay. with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. A lot of action tonight from the Rays here at Tropicana Field. Jeff Neiman has pitched himself a heck of a game. Career high in strikeouts so far with 8. Ben Zobrist has hit a grand slam home run. And the Rays lead 9-0 as they come in to hit in the bottom of the 7th inning. With Deanna Navarro about to lead off. Kyle Farnsworth will be the 4th pitcher of the night for Kansas City. Ryan Pena took over behind the plate in the 6th. As you see Farnsworth's numbers.
And he was brought in, one of the guys that they brought in for the Royals, along with Juan Cruz, to replace Leo Nunez and Ramirez. Both guys got traded in the offseason for Chris and Mike Jacobs.
Deanna Navarro takes the pitch down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Brignac next, and then Upton. Chuck Hewlett's in the game at 3rd for Kansas City. Navarro fouls one. Deanna hitting .209, belted his 3rd home run of the year in the 5th. He hit that one batting right-handed. Two balls and a strike. Runs off the starter Bannister, 1 off Mayhay. Ramirez worked 1 inning, 1, 2, 3, 6. The first time tonight the Rays had not had a runner on base in any 1 inning. Chopped to 2nd. Navarro is out, 4-3 to start the 7th. Reed Brignac will bat. Well, every spot in the Rays lineup has been on base tonight, one form or another. Brignac singled and scored in the 2nd. There's a line drive, and boy, between the 2 that Pena's hit down there and that one, Butler's had to corral some hard-hit line drives tonight.
Yes, he has. Well, I guess Butler will say, well, that evens out because Brignac's base hit was that chopper over his head in the 2nd inning, and this time Brignac can't hit the ball much harder than that, but right at Billy Butler.
Progressive Progress Energy's energized defensive play. That one right there was the energized defensive play, brought to you by Progress Energy. It's a strike to B.J. Upton.
I thought, Dwayne, that B.J.'s at bat in the 2nd was the real key to the game. That 2-strike double he hit to open up the game a little bit. Obviously, it's over his grand slam, but I thought that at bat was huge. Because that was the time that Bannister wasn't sure about going in. Leva wanted to go in. Bannister didn't throw it with conviction. He left it out over the plate, and BJ was all over it. He ripped that double down the left field line, and then got to 3rd base and threw it home.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And it seemed right from the beginning of this game that Bannister's attention was divided between the hitter and the base runner when Crawford walked with 1 out in the 1st. he was on Bannister's mind right from the very beginning, and that continued to be the case in the early part of this game.
For sure. Just definitely took him out of his game.
This ball up. 2-2. Farnsworth with a very good arm. In fact, that last pitch, I think, hit 98.
It did.
And Upton waves and misses. He's out on strikes. Slider, and that ends the inning. On to the 8th we go, and it's 9-0 Tampa Bay.
Nine nothing Rays as we head to the 8th inning. Jeff Neiman cruising along. We are getting a lot of questions on our Ask the Announcers website Wednesday about Evan Longoria and his update. Well, last night, if you remember, he left the game as he just tweaked that hamstring running down the first base line. The Rays received the best of all news today with the MRI that was clean. They think Longoria is just going to be out a couple of days. Joe Madden expects him to be ready for the Yankee series up in New York and ready to play third base as well. Our latest question from the viewers comes from 3 different viewers. Rod, Bob, and Anthony all have a question basically about the same thing. They said, Kevin, with Deanna Navarro, you've talked about his mechanics blocking pitches behind the plate. Now that you're part of the Rays team, would you ever feel comfortable going to Navi with any of those suggestions, guys?
Well, here's the leadoff hitter here in the 8th inning, lifting a fly ball out to Kapler. And Tug Hewlett is retired in his first at bat of the night, one away. Well, that's putting it right on the line.
Not really, because it's not really my job. It's my job to point things out and teach how and why and tell how and why. And I think, I'm sure Bobby Ramos and the guys downstairs and that coaching staff and Joe Madden being a catcher have probably talked to him about that. He's just got to apply it. And there's times you see Navi apply it. So I don't think I'm saying anything that they probably haven't told him already.
Yeah, that's the other point. David DeJesus, 1 ball, no strikes. I mean, they see the same thing, and you know, part of managing and coaching is you're going to see those, you're going to work on those, and you're not going to take out an ad in the local paper or on the local telecast or broadcast and discuss all of that. You're going to do those things, and Kevin, you know what? I mean, you manage. You know, there are conversations all the time between coaches, managers, and players about things like that.
Yeah, those guys in that dugout, and Bobby Ramos being a good catcher himself, and I played against Bobby, they know. I mean, believe me, they're talking. It's just, you know, you got to apply it on the field. And I've seen Navi sometimes apply it. I've seen him do it. And then last night, of course, I pointed out with Balfour's slider, he didn't do it correctly, and it cost the ball to the backstop. And the pitchers need the confidence that you can throw that breaking ball in the dirt. It's a fair question.
Down ball. Zobrist takes care of that. 2 outs. Base is empty. Time for the stay in the game hold of the day, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. Let's take a look at the Rays hold leaders. Dan Wheeler with 7 leading the bullpen. Brian Schaus with 6. So not the case with Grant Balfour with 6. J.P. Howell 4 and Joe Nelson 3. Just as middle relievers keep their teams in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men Hair Color.
You know, there's also Todd Green downstairs. He was a catcher. All these guys know. It's just, you know, it's my job. I always felt as an analyst to teach how and why, or show how and why.
Brian Pena at the plate, 1-0 the count.
And if I don't do that, then I'm not doing my job up here. Sometimes I can't sugarcoat it.
A 2-ball, no strike count.
But, you know, Joe Madden did tell me one thing when I took this job. He said, if you see something, let me know. And I said, no, Joe, I'm just up here with Dwayne calling balls and strikes and talking about it. But he was serious about that. And that says a lot for American League Manager of the Year.
And, you know, I've always loved that about him. He'll take information from wherever he can get it, and then he'll filter it.
You bet.
And you've got to be able to do that, because if one thing years around this game we learned, everybody has an opinion about this game, and they're willing to give it to you, and that's a good thing. We're grateful that that's the case. But for a manager and a coach and a general manager, you've got to be able to take some of that and do a great job of filtering it so that it applies directly with what you have in front of you. And he does a great job at that.
Well, you know, I used to go home at night sometimes and see the replay when I was managing, and Jim Sundberg was a great catcher for the Texas Rangers, and he would point some things out about Pudge Rodriguez, and I would listen to it, and Jimmy never came to me. He was the broadcaster with Stephen Busby, and I would ask Jim about it.
3-2, and a liner into center. That takes care of Brian Pena. Another 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 9-0 Rays.
Center fielder's playing shallow, and I think of, you know, when I was a kid watching Paul Blair, the Orioles in center field back in the day. The best center fielders play like that because they're not afraid to go back on the ball to the wall. You see outfielders with paint on their back, that tells you they're afraid to go back on the ball. When I'm teasing there with paint on their back, but, you know what I'm talking about. Those outfielders that all play deep. Many base hits fall in front of you. More balls will fall in front than go over your head.
Gabe Kapler hits here in the bottom of the 8th, facing Joakim Soria. He's just off the disabled list. He missed a good stretch of games with a strain in his right rotator cuff. He's their closer and has been a good one. 0-2.
Yeah, even this year, 7 for 7 in save opportunities, 2.08 earned run average.
Well, he had next to Brad Lidge and Mariano Rivera last year, he had the best conversion rate of any saver.
He's an interesting story too, because Mike Brito of the Dodgers, who found Fernando Valenzuela, at least got credit for that. He wasn't the first guy that saw Fernando. He signed Soria out of Mexico, and the Dodgers ended up releasing him after a couple of years.
It's foul. It's still 1-2. His conversion rate of saves last year over 93%. Of course, Brad Lidge was perfect. He was 41 of 41 for the Phillies, and Mariano Rivera 39 out of 40 for the Yankees. So as closers go, I mean, that's excellence. And next came Soria closing here, and he strikes out Kapler with a 93.3% success rate closing.
Yeah, and if you're closing out games at about 87, 88%, you're more than doing your job. 93 is incredible. 90 is outstanding. The top two in the game today are Trevor Hoffman of the Brewers and Mariano Rivera. 90 and 91. Trevor was at 91 coming into this season, which is even better than Rivera, believe it or not.
Willie Ibar taking one up and away, a ball and no strikes. So Soria was just reinstated from the disabled list before the game here last night. It's fouled back, 1-1. Rays lead 9-0. It's been a great offensive night and a great night on the mound for the Rays for 26-year-old rookie Jeff Neiman. Neiman has given up just 1 hit and 1 walk. So he's pitched 8 innings tonight. 7 of those have been perfect innings.
And you know, I don't really care that it's a team that's not hitting great in the American League. They're 13th. The kind of stuff Neiman's throwing out there tonight will beat anybody. He's pounding the zone. He's got a live fastball at 93 to 95. His curve's been good. He's thrown some sliders. We saw a changeup an inning ago. And the command's been excellent. I mean, this would beat the best hitting team in baseball, this kind of stuff.
Chop toward third. Hewlett with the scoop and can't get it out of his glove cleanly. And Ibar's aboard. That's an error charge to Hewlett down at third. Second error of the night assessed to Kansas City. So a runner at first with 1 out, and Joe Dillon will hit now for Pena. Well, this has been a very big step for Neiman. In fact, the way he's pitched over the last handful of starts, it's just been leading to a night like this. 1 strike to count to Dillon. And he's only made 86 pitches through 8 innings.
Well, the thing about Jeff Neiman, too, his minor league numbers are excellent. I mean, this should not be a total surprise. I mean, he's just now getting active. It's his 13th start in the big leagues. That's it. Former #1 pick out of Rice. You can just see him gaining confidence.
I love to see him run to the mound.
Oh, yeah. It's the first one out there.
Yep. Dillon reaches for it, pops it to first, caught by Butler. 2 gone.
You know, the thing that's noticeable that we talked about is the pacing. I mean, he's getting on the mound, and when you see that look, Trey Hillman's going to go to the bullpen right here. Sorry, I just got a little taste just coming off the DL. That's all that was about, get him acclimated a little bit.
So it'll be the right-hander Roman Colon coming out of the bullpen. Back in a moment. I think the Rays lead this game. Ramon Colon is the new pitcher. So Soria just off the disabled list, faced 3 hitters. 1 man reached on the error.
We saw Colon last night. Only 3 games so far up here in the big leagues. Not a big time cross reference right there. The ERA 5.40. I just think Soria was just in there going, just get acclimated to the mound again.
Sure.
And he can use it tomorrow night if need be. Trey Hillman.
And Ben Zobrist. Zobrist will bat with Ibar at first. Pitch is low. Well, our checkers double of the game. Ben Zobrist tonight hitting his 2nd grand slam of the year. He had one against the White Sox off Matt Thornton, and he hit this one against Kansas City in the 4th off Brian Bannister. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, the players have a vote on who makes the team, too. I was thinking about Jason Varitek, who was hitting about 200 when he made the All-Star team last year. That was the players' vote because the opposing players respected the way he, worked behind the plate. I could see the players getting involved and saying, there's a lot of teams that Ben has hurt so far this year.
Oh, man.
A lot of different teams.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And he's out on strikes against Colon to retire the side. No runs, a man left after the error. We go to the 9th, and the Rays lead 9-0. Rays lead. It's a 9-0 ball game as we go to the top of the 9th inning this week on Fox Saturday Baseball. Ryan Howard and the Phillies take on Andre Ethier and the Dodgers in a rematch of last year's NLCS. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week at 4 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Tony Pena Jr. will lead off against Jeff Neiman here in the 9th inning. Neiman has given up only 1 hit and just 2 base runners. Retired the first 14 men to face him. And a fly ball toward right center. Joyce is there and makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 9th inning. Well, he retired 14 straight before he gave up the base hit to Mark Teahan. Then he walked to Jesus. And then he started another streak that has now reached 11 in a row.
And he has completely just pounded the zone with first pitch strikes. 88 pitches in all, 60 for strikes. Talk about pitch efficiency. He's had that tonight.
First pitch. Mitch Meyer pops it up foul. Going after that one, and it's out of play. Strike 1. This has been a gem of a performance by Jeff Neiman.
That's just a hammer for a curve for strike 2.
Down and in, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boy, he's got a chance to finish this one off facing only 2 men over the minimum. Upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just a little piece of that one.
That had some kind of sink to it.
Yes, it did.
91.
He has had great stuff.
Look at this movement right here. Down and away off the outside corner. That's a protection swing right there.
And a line drive going to be caught by Zobrist at second base. So 2 outs here in the 9th. He's retired 12 in a row now. How about that? What a performance by Jeff Neiman. He's 1 out away from throwing a 1-hit shutout and facing only 2 men over the minimum.
At 5 innings, including right now, less than 10 pitches.
Cayaspo, the second baseman. And a ground ball to third comes up, takes a bad hop on Dillon. And Cayaspo reaches. That took a bad hop. Well, he threw the ground ball, didn't get the hop, though. And that stops the streak at 12 in a row.
Yeah, Joe just getting in over there after his at bat over to third base. It did take a big hop off that edge of the lip right there, lip of the grass on the turf there. So came up on it.
Cayaspo is aboard. Butler. Swing and a miss. He threw the fastball by him. They're debating over whether they should give Cayaspo a hit or an error to Dillon, but it did take a bad hop, and they finally decided to give him a hit on the bad hop. Only the second hit surrendered by Neiman. That's a strike. How about if he hadn't given up a hit to Teahan back in the 5th, and they got that one down to third right there?
I think that has to be an error then.
Yeah.
Because Teahan's was a clean single to center in the 5th.
The 0-2, just a little piece of it foul. And it really doesn't make any difference now if that's a hit or an error. It's a hit. The second given up by Neiman, but it doesn't taint the performance. I'll tell you, he's been great tonight. too high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This next pitch will be his 100th pitch of the night. Here it is, and it ends the game. Swing and a miss. Butler is out on strikes, and the Rays win it 9-0. A gem of a 2-hit shutout by the 26-year-old right-hander out of Rice, Jeff Neiman. Neiman was in charge from the very beginning tonight. He strikes out 9. He gave up only 3 base runners. He retired 14 in a row before Mark Teahen lined a single into center field. It was a clean single. He walked to Jesus and then retired the next 12 men he faced before giving up the bad hop single to Cayaspo. And then he got Butler on strikes. This is our Verizon Wireless plays of the game, as it turns out. Each and every one of the 9 strikeouts posted by Neiman tonight.
Yeah, 9 in all. I mean, he had everything going. Great curveball tonight. Good electric fastball, 95. He had some good two-seam action at 90, 91. A couple sliders, changeups, 9 strikeouts tonight, and he only walked 1.
So it's 9-0 final. Neiman with 9 strikeouts, his first career complete game, his first career shutout, and boy did he do it in convincing fashion tonight. A great performance for the 6'9" right-hander from Houston. Right now, let's go to Todd Callis with Jeff Neiman.
Dwayne, thank you very much, Jeff.